Okay, hi friends. It's been a minute. I know everyone's been wondering where I am, why I'm not uploading, why I haven't been consistent, if I've stopped watching this show, if I've stopped watching that show, everything. I kind of want to tell you a little bit of where I've been and what's been going on in my life. So for those who are new and who are here for Shameless and whatnot that don't know, I have an autoimmune disease. I haven't gone too much in depth with it. I was misdiagnosed at first and found out that it was definitely not what they thought it was, and that it's an autoimmune disease, one that is very aggressive and very tough. I get sick very easily. I cannot fight off illness very easily. It takes me a long time to recover when I get sick. So I'm immunocompromised. I'm on immunosuppressant drugs that are supposed to help with pain. So it's just the combination of the things is not great. So around Thanksgiving is when this started, and sadly around that time is when I was finally like getting into a groove and really enjoying what I was doing and filming and the time I was spending. I felt like I finally was starting to feel a little bit back to normal. Those that have been here for a while know that I used to post every single day, missing no days ever, sick or not, which honestly I want to get back to that. I think that now I do know though that I need to be a little bit easier on myself, because the issues that are wrong with me are not something that can be taken lightly, and they're things that need to be addressed and taken care of when they happen. So if I can't film, if I'm not feeling good, I have to listen to my body. So it's not gonna be like a post every day or else situation, but I do want it to be a high priority of mine to make sure that I am posting unless I absolutely cannot. So starting Thanksgiving, the day after Thanksgiving, so I went to California to see my family for Thanksgiving, and I got there on Thanksgiving, I believe. Yeah, Thanksgiving Day. So I was there with them Thanksgiving Day. Then the next day I was with my mom, went out shopping and did some girl stuff, you know. And then the day after that, I woke up so sick. So sick. I could barely swallow. I lost my voice. I had just chills and body aches and just was miserable. I went to the urgent care there, and I'm not one that's like, I want to go to the doctor. So when I do say I need to go to the doctor, it's normally because I need to go to the doctor. I had strep throat, which if you've had strep throat, it's fucking awful. It's just terrible, so painful, very hard to get rid of, and very aggressive. So it's an illness where you have to change your toothbrush afterwards because you'll give it to yourself again. It's crazy. It's just, strep throat sucks. Like I said, when I get sick, I get it really bad because my body cannot fight off illness the way other people's can. So I got it the worst possible it could be. My tonsils were swollen and they turned, like, I'm not even kidding, like almost white. You know how strep throat, you kind of get like that white veiny look to them? That was what was happening. So I was getting those on my tonsils to the point where it was like they were almost white. They put me on antibiotics. I was supposed to go home, I think like 5 days after that. I had to cancel my flight because I literally couldn't get out of bed. I was in California visiting my family and I couldn't get out of bed. I did not eat anything for like 4 days, and the days that I did, and drink, I was so dehydrated. So I'm supposed to be going home the next day. This is like 5 or so days later, and I go into the urgent care and I'm like, I am no better than I was when I was here 5 days ago. I am miserable and worse. So he put me on some stronger antibiotics at this point. So it was the second round of antibiotics. I had finished the first one, and he had said to come back once I finished them. If they didn't work, he had put me on stronger ones. So he put me on stronger ones. The first time I went also, I got a shot for pain and a shot for inflammation and steroid shot. The same thing happened next time. I got these shots done and I got new antibiotics, very strong ones, like the strongest you can get. So I changed my flight because I was supposed to leave the next day. Zero chance that was happening. I think I changed it to like 4 or so days later. I don't remember exactly, but it was something along the lines of that. I was still so sick. I, at this point, was not contagious, just sick. And I had to leave the next day. I was still just as bad as I was days prior when I changed my flight the first time. And I was gonna change it a third time, or second time, but I was like, I need to get home, I need to work. And in hindsight, probably shouldn't have done that. Wasn't able to work anyway. I should have just listened to my health, but it is what it is. I was so achy, I was so sick, in so much pain, could not swallow. My tonsils looked the same. I was just like, no. My body was telling me no. I did it anyway. My fiance was able to pick me up and I was able to get home pretty quickly, but I was so miserable. And after this, still miserable. Probably 4 or 5 or so days left get past, or no, maybe like 4. I would say like 4 days go by and I'm still sick. And so I go to my doctor here and pretty much told him, hey, I was in California, I got strep throat, I was on these antibiotics, and then I was on these antibiotics, and so he said, okay, I'm gonna put you on another round of antibiotics just to try to figure this thing out. I had the steroid shot, and then he said, I want you to see an ENT, an ear, nose, and throat doctor. I promise my explanation about everything is not this long, but this part just kind of is. And he wanted me to see a specialist doctor because of my tonsils. So, oh, that happened later. But yeah, so he put me on this new medicine, and he said, call me in 3 days if it's not even working, because it should work. Like, this is super strong, should work like in a day or 2. 3 days later, I come back, I'm like, no better. And I still had a spot on my throat, and my lymph nodes were super like inflamed, like an infectious spot. It was like my throat started like getting a little bit better, but my lymph nodes, oh, they're finally shrinking after my surgery. My lymph nodes were like massive, just like huge, so painful, and there was like a live infection in my tonsil that they could like see, which I don't know how that works, but that's what it was. I go to this ENT, which is like ear, nose, and throat doctor, and he pretty much said, you need to get your tonsils taken out because infections should not stay there after 3 rounds of antibiotics and steroids and stuff like that. I got my tonsils and adenoids removed. I got them taken out on January 24th, and he told me ahead of time that I was gonna be one of the people that it takes a long time for me to recover. So the recovery for an adult for tonsils is 2 weeks, give or take, more, less, it just depends. It's a lot harder on adults because they're like, I think he said they're like attached more, and also they've seen more shit as their life goes on, you know, so they're harder and just, you know, whatever. And at this point, they were not that swollen, they just were infected, and my adenoids as well. So he schedules the surgery for the 24th. So I get my tonsils taken out and my adenoids taken out, and he tells my fiance, who's like waiting for me after the surgery, he went and told her, because I was still under anesthesia, he told her that my tonsils were like severely infected and that he's glad that he took them out when he did. He told me that I would have to get my tonsils taken out one way or another, and it was kind of a difficult situation because with my autoimmune disease, like I said, it's very hard for me to recover. So he told me that it would be around like 3 or more weeks for me to recover from this surgery. So for adults, it's a very rough recovery. I've had surgeries before. I've gone through many different procedures and things like that, and I've had so much pain in my life, and chest pain and leg pain and this and that. And I will say, getting my tonsils and adenoids removed, the recovery was the worst pain I've ever felt in my entire life. Not even a competition. The worst pain. I cannot even put into words how much I freaking hated it. So today is the 13th of February. My tonsils are finally starting to feel okay. I'm still feeling terrible. I feel feverish. I feel miserable. Right before this surgery as well, another thing was going on. I had this incredible Patreon. I also filmed a like video to kind of show what I'm about to tell you, but I have an incredible Patreon who actually did the most amazing thing I've ever had happen to me. They bought me everything for a new setup. I've been trying to build a PC and get parts to build it, but you know, money, all my money goes to bills, medical bills. This person said that they were going to help me build this PC and help me not only build this PC, but kind of redo my setup in a way that would be good for me, the best for me with my condition and being in pain and stuff like that. And let me tell you, this is like the biggest blessing ever. And I can't believe that somebody was so kind to do that for me. They got me everything to build a PC. I built my own PC. They got me 2 new monitors, one for my editing and one for filming when I watch the shows. Got the monitor stands, got like new background lights for me that mine broke, my strip lights, and then new bar lights and new cables to help things work better, cable to help connect my camera to my PC so that when I'm done filming it immediately goes and transfers my footage. So there's less chance I'm gonna lose the footage, and it's way easier for me to not have to go back and forth and back and forth. They even got me a backup power like battery that plugs like everything plugs into it, and so if the power were to go out, it would keep my computer on, it would keep my stuff on so that I don't lose anything that like doesn't save or anything like that. And just so much more, so much more. Everything that you could think of that I would need for a setup, they did for me. I go more into this in the other video that I filmed, but this was happening right before my surgery. So during this time, I was building the PC. My setup in my area, my filming area, was just a complete mess because everything was new. I had to build these things. I had to put new monitors up. I had to put just everything that, like, was new. So I was doing this, spending the time doing this before my surgery, and then I finally kind of got it up and working, and then I had to get surgery. So I filmed a couple videos like the day before my surgery to try to like have something done, but I didn't realize how terrible the surgery was gonna feel, so that didn't work out so well. So during all of this, multiple things happened. Right before my surgery, my grandma, who had cancer, had a like rod and hardware put in because they had to cut out like her jaw and the roof of her mouth and the bottom, and like it just was so bad, and she had a rod put in to, you know, be like her jaw. Right before my surgery, my mom was supposed to come help with my surgery afterwards to take care of me, you know, and be my mom, but we found out my grandma's surgery was the day before. So she had to have almost like an emergency surgery because her body was rejecting the hardware that she had in her body. It was very urgent. So my mom stayed there, of course, and had to be there with my grandma. And every time things have come up, you know, my grandma recently recovered from cancer from the surgery in the first place, and I had gone there to, you know, be there with her to support her because I can't, like, I was so anxious not being there, and I couldn't because my surgery was the next day. So I was very mentally struggling, and on top of this, my friend passed away. I'm gonna try to like just kind of say it quickly so I don't get too emotional and crying and whatnot. She passed away from domestic violence. It was obviously the biggest shock in the world, so that was difficult. So her funeral was around this time as well. And keep in mind that these things that I'm telling you about are happening all at the same time. We were really having a hard few days of it, and just kind of being there for each other and going to the funeral, you know, and just letting it sink in what had happened. Please, if you take anything from this, if you are in a situation where you're experiencing domestic violence, please tell somebody. Get help, reach out to a friend, tell somebody. Confide in somebody, whether it's a partner, whether it's a parent, a sibling who don't deserve what they're doing. If you take anything away from that, please just know that you deserve better. Okay, I don't want to focus too much on that because it's pretty heavy. Another thing that I've been dealing with mentally, and also another thing happening during this time that I kind of explained slightly in videos before I stopped, was that I have an issue with my knee, multiple issues actually. I've had knee issues kind of like my whole life, really, and somewhat recently is when it started to get worse. And sadly, my story of how this happened is so boring. I stepped weird walking on the stairs and just immediately got like sharp pain throughout my knee. Found out that I tore my meniscus actually, which is cartilage in your knee. So that happens by like rotating your knee too quickly or in too much and stuff like that. So even just like stepping down, like now when I step down, if I turn, like, you know how people turn on their heels and stuff, if I do anything like that, it just gets so painful. It's so painful. So they basically found out I tore my meniscus. I displaced my kneecap. So my kneecap, if it's like, you know, it's supposed to be in the middle or so, it is to the side and then it is pushed back. So because of that, the cartilage under my kneecap is deteriorating, and that's not good. Obviously it's painful because you don't have that cartilage there, so when you're moving and your kneecap's moving, it's rubbing straight to bone, and that's painful. All of it pretty much stems from the kneecap. So something happened with my kneecap, got it displaced, it was killing the cartilage by rubbing on it, and then because of the kneecap being displaced, my meniscus was torn. It created a cyst in my knee, so I have a cyst as well. So basically the cyst is like filled with like, I don't know if it's joint fluid. I think like the meniscus, when it's torn, sometimes joint fluid could get out. So that's like what it's for, like what's going on is it's like a cyst formed because of my meniscus tear. So my kneecap is displaced too far away, too much to the side. I tore my meniscus. My cartilage under my kneecap is deteriorating. I have a cyst. Yeah, it's just like a bunch of shit that I was not expecting to have seen. I was referred to a surgeon and went to the surgeon. He was kind of a dick. I really didn't like him. He didn't even like touch or look at my knee. He had me get a brace that I have on right now. It's very painful, but it's a brace that has like a little J bracket on the bottom, and it's meant to like push my kneecap back into place. It's very painful to wear because it's pushing my kneecap where my kneecap is not. Kind of like braces, you know, trying to push your teeth. That's what's happening with my kneecap. I've been on crutches. I've been trying not to use my crutches though because I have been going to physical therapy and they want me to walk on it with my brace as much as possible, but it's so painful. So basically the doctor was like, I want you to wear this brace. I want you to go to physical therapy first, you know, before we do surgery. So I was annoyed because he kind of was just like, oh yeah, just go to physical therapy. And I was kind of like, I can't walk. So I go to physical therapy, and like I knew, it was so painful. The physical therapy, the first appointment was the same day as the funeral of my friend. So it was not a good day to begin with. Then I went again, and that was even more painful. I went to swimming physical therapy in the pool. So I had physical therapy like in the pool, which is easier on your joints and your body and stuff, but it's kind of like a little trick, because the part that is also hard is that the water is like resistant when you're walking, so you're also using that like muscle and my knee to like push myself, so that also really freaking hurt. And then went back to the surgeon who wanted to try that first and stuff, and he pretty much said that, you know, we tried this and that, it's not working. The surgery that you need is something that I am not specialized to do, because I guess it's like a pretty hard surgery, I don't know. So I am going to the surgeon on the 17th, this Friday, to talk about what they can do. It's a sports medicine doctor that like specializes in like your knee and stuff like that. So that's what's going on with that. So on top of this tonsil pain, I've had terrible knee pain. I've had my other issues as well. And then to just, you know, the topping on the cake is that yesterday my fiance tested positive for COVID. We don't know how she got it, to be honest. We have no idea. I have not left the house besides for my physical therapy and for my doctor's appointments. She's got COVID. Just found out yesterday. I took a test, it was negative. I took a test today, still negative. So I'm hoping it's gonna stay that way. However, I don't believe it will, because I feel like crap today. I feel very feverish and I'm like sweating, doing absolutely nothing. It's freezing outside and I'm sweating. We were not social distancing beforehand. Obviously, we are engaged. We do engaged people things. We sleep in the same bed, kiss each other, you know, all that stuff. I will be very surprised if I do not get it. I've had a few booster shots now for COVID, so maybe that's also helping. I don't know. That's kind of up to speed where we're at now. So I had illness, strep throat, super bad, was really sick, couldn't do anything, was sleeping all day. Had my tonsils and adenoids removed. I had this knee issue, I've been seeing, got an MRI, I've been seeing physical therapists, orthopedic surgeons. Then my friend passed away My grandma had to have a pretty emergent surgery for her body rejecting something that was put in there after she had cancer. And then now I'm dealing with having to go to the surgeon on Friday. Friday is my appointment. If I get COVID, I'm gonna miss my appointment with the sports medicine surgeon. So, you know, things are just peachy. It just seems like one thing after the other after the other. I know people can relate. It seems like when it rains, it pours. I'm trying to have a more positive mindset, trying to take over my mind in a way that's reminding myself that everything's gonna be fine. Everything will be okay. You'll get those medical bills paid. You'll have these surgeries. I'm just gonna hopefully be okay. That is where I've been. That's what's going on with me. I'm sorry for not being here to upload. I will answer the questions that I know I'm gonna get. No, I have not stopped watching Supernatural. No, I have not stopped watching Shameless. No, I have not stopped watching Legacies. No, I have not stopped watching any of the other shows. Promise. Not Lucifer, not What the Fuck, not Druck. What the Fuck has been put on hold for a while just because, like, after that season, I just was like not loving it too much. I want to finish Druck because I am loving their season, but it's just things have been hectic and I've been trying to give people what they want, but I don't want to sideline things anymore. I'm planning on making a schedule, and as long as I'm healthy and okay, I'm gonna abide by that schedule. I just want people to know that, like, I am capable of giving you what you want and uploading daily and whatnot, but I do have to accept, as a person with chronic illness, that things are gonna happen. I'm 99% sure I'm gonna get surgery on my knee, so I might be out of commission for a little bit. I would love to try to film some ahead of time and maybe I'll be able to edit, but obviously there's gonna be some days where I'm just gonna be in bed miserable, can't edit, you know? So I want to tell everyone that I'm doing my best. This is where I've been. I promise I'm not trying to slack on you. I promise I care and I want to get back to YouTube so badly. So excited to show off my new setup and to use my new setup, and it's just gonna be so much easier on me and so much just... I wish I videoed what my old setup looked like to show everybody like what I was working with, because it's just night and day difference, and I'm just so freaking lucky and grateful to have this person who did all of this for me and is continuing to do these things for me. You know, they think of something and get that for me too. We're working on getting me a new filming light because my ring light has been causing issues with my eyes and just like things like that, and I'm just so happy and so blessed for this person that cares so much. But yeah, I love you guys. I'm gonna work to earn your trust. I'm gonna be working to earn that love on Patreon again. I'm just really excited to come back and be back. If you're watching to the end of this, thank you. I appreciate you so much. There's so many things that I want to say that it's been long enough. But yeah, I promise I'm going to be back. I'm going to be making a schedule. I'm so excited to make a schedule and to come back. Things have been stressful for me. I've been anxious like every day because I'm just like, I need to work. I can't be sick. I need to work. I'm gonna have some grace when it comes to my health, and I'm not gonna be so hard on myself, but I also want to push myself to be the best that I can be in terms of uploading videos and editing and all of that. But yeah, I didn't feel right just like uploading a video and just starting without giving an explanation of what's been going on. Again, if you stay to the end, thank you. I appreciate you. Y'all the real ones for sure. If you made it this far, put a black heart or just a heart in the comments and I'll know who you are and that you watched to the end, because I appreciate you so much. Y'all are the true ones for real. Thank you guys for being patient. I'm so sorry. And for the people that are also frustrated, I get it. I totally get it, and I'm sorry, and thank you for being patient. I'm very excited to get back to you guys. I think that's pretty much it. I will see you guys very, very, very soon. Thanks for watching.